Welcome everybody to our session today. Definitely excited. Been looking forward to it for some time now. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Jared A. Davis Sr. I'm a wonderful alumni of the great University of Dayton, class of 2008. I graduated with a degree in music, general music performance to be specific. And since leaving UD, I have actually transitioned out of the world of music into the world of education, where I have either been mentoring, teaching, educating young people K through 12 for the past 12 years. So it's been an absolute joy and pleasure to be in that sector. Before we begin, just want to give a few housekeeping items. This is a part of a series happening on Wednesdays at noon Eastern time. More of these sessions will be added soon for the spring semester, and we will post the link in the chat in case you're interested in viewing or participating in those follow-up sessions. Today's session will focus on the history and accomplishments of Black Action Through Unity, affectionately known to us as BATU, how they've adapted this semester, and how they continue to build community on campus. This session is being recorded and will be added to UDigital in the next week or so where it will be available to the public. And lastly, we want to thank everyone who submitted questions in advance. Please feel free as the students go through their presentation to include questions you'd like to ask them in the chat. You will also have the ability to raise your hand to ask questions live, and we will do our best to address them during our discussion. And now I want to turn it over to the president of BATU, Mr. Gabriel.
So thank you everybody for being here this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for a presentation that the Executive Board of Black Action Through Unity has put together to share with everyone. So to kind of kick things off, we will start off with introducing everyone to the e-board as well as the panelists that we have here today with us. So my name is Gabriel Biode. I'm president of Black Action Through Unity. Our vice president to the top right, Malia Wells, is vice president of Black Action Through Unity, who is not with us today, as well as our treasurer, Emmanuel Ajiman, is not with us today. And I'll also pass it to the rest of the e-board to introduce themselves. Whoever would like to jump in.
Hi everyone, I am Milan Hood. I am a junior at the university majoring in psychology with a minor in Africana Studies. I am the chair of community service for BATU.
Hi, my name is Jada. I'm a junior at the University of Dayton. I'm majoring in biology and psychology, and I'm the secretary of BATU.
Hello, everyone. My name is Monique. I'm a senior psychology major, and I serve as the Officer of Public Relations for BATU.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mackenzie Henry. I major in psychology, and I'm a sophomore, and I'm the historian of BATU.
Absolutely, thank you. So we're about to go ahead and go into a bit of background and history of BATU as I pass it to our wonderful community service chair to kind of kickstart us off on a bit of background. So.
Okay, like I said before, I am Milan. So basically what BATU is, it stands for Black Action Through Unity, and we serve as the Black Student Union on campus. So basically what we do is give a voice to the students so that they can express their grievances if there are any concerns being a Black student on campus. And through that, we kind of give a platform to discuss concerns with administration, faculty, staff, and just the student body in general. So we host a lot of different events, and we kind of just utilize this organization to make sure that our students' voices are heard, while also giving them a space to feel comfortable on campus. So just a little bit of background about BATU. So just a couple of stuff that we have recently received. So there have been some awards that we have received, specifically highlighting just some of the Black excellence that we have done on campus, as well as our Black Excellence Ball. That's been really big. Actually, we're on our 3rd year now, I want to say. So hopefully we are able to host that. That's one of our events that's really popular on campus. We've received some merit awards, specifically in the spring. BATU received the Event of the Year also from the University of Dayton. We were a recipient for that. So just a couple of stuff that we're doing on campus that we'll get to in a little bit. But each year we're growing to do better and better, and hopefully just strive for a more comfortable campus for Black students on at the university. So the legacy of BATU last year, or the year before last actually, we celebrated our 50th anniversary on campus. So it's one of our longest, or our most longest Black organizations that have been on campus. In 2017, the Black alumni were welcome to join the students on campus for a Black reunion week. So hopefully we're able to continue that. I know with COVID, it's been a little bit hard, but that's just some of the things we do. We also have a BATU house, which a member of BATU lives in. So we kind of utilize that house to commute with students. Sometimes we must host different events. One in particular that I will be talking about a little bit later on in this presentation. But it's also really just a space for students to also feel comfortable. So if they ever just needed to talk to someone or just have a little safe haven, the BATU house is where they can go on campus. So some of the events that we've hosted this year, so Up the Orgs or Up the Organizations is a day in which students are able to come to our table, learn a bit about what BATU has to offer. We can give them some information. They are able to sign up if they want to know more. They can come to our first general body meeting. So it really is just a day for them to meet the e-board. This year was actually the first year that we hosted it virtually, which turned out great. We met a lot of the first year students, so we were really excited to see that they were so engaged, and we gained a lot of members from it. We also hosted a human sexuality workshop that was kind of directed a little bit by me. Since I have a certification in human sexuality, we felt that it was important to really give education to students on campus about sex and sexuality. So that is something that we hope to continue in the future. Another event that we absolutely love on campus is our BATU open mic. That's really popular. Students can come and basically give a piece or performance of their choice, and a lot of students get involved with that. Next, we have our mini ASALH conference. So normally each year for the past 3 years now, we have went to ASALH, which is the Association for African American Life and History. We learn about different philosophers, different histories, the culture surrounding African and African American people, and just get to meet new people. I think the first year that we went was directed kind of by our previous president, Darius Beckham, and we went to Indiana. Last year we went to South Carolina, and this year it was virtual, which was still really nice. We had a great turnout. We learned a lot of new stuff, and we were able to kind of cooperate with a Black faculty staff, Dr. Lawrence Sanders, on campus, and kind of make those connections between Black history and what was being taught at ASALH. Next, we have our BATU hotline that's kind of being in progress right now, but basically it's a hotline for students to call if they have any concerns or grievances that they want to discuss, but they want to remain anonymous. So that's really just a resource for students to feel comfortable in expressing themselves. And then lastly is our BATU blog. So that's where you can receive all of our information. We spotlight some of our students who are showcasing Black excellence. And also if they have anything that they wanna let the general body know, or just highlight anything that's going on in their life, they have that ability to do so as well. So we kind of have social events that go on throughout the year, events that kind of have a component of social service or education. So through that, we try to implement any of those three themes in our events. So I'll just highlight 3 of them quickly. So for main social event that we normally have each year is our Black Unity Cookout. That's really, really popular. It is hosted during the first, most likely the first week of school. That's where everyone can come to the BATU house. We have pretty much a little barbecue. You get to meet all of the new first year students, as well as some alumni do come back and share that experience with us. It's really just a great time to see all the Black students on campus and get to know each other. Next, we have Day in Dayton. That's kind of my position or my role as the chair of community service. So within this, we actually do all three components. So we host a service event. Last year, we went to McIntosh Park and did a cleanup. And then McIntosh has some significance as it is a scholarship at the University of Dayton, particularly for students of color. So we went to McIntosh Park, we did a cleanup. For the educational portion, we also went and saw the movie Harriet, which is really good, and we did a partnership with MEC with that. And then lastly, we went to a Black-owned or African Caribbean restaurant and kind of ate there and talk about food, the culture, all the things that we had participated in that day. So it has three components that day, and each year it kind of changes. We learn more about Dayton's history and culture. And then, like I was talking about earlier, our ASALH conference. So this is just some of our pictures of last year when we went to the ASALH conference. We actually were able to be a panelist, or we presented a presentation centered around, I want to say it was HBCUs versus like the PWI experience. So Malia, our vice president now, kind of was the spearhead for that. She created the model, the presentation, and we just helped her in any way we could. Normally we take about maybe 4 to 5 students, depending on how far it is away or how far it is from campus. So we're hoping to continue to do that. Funding has been a little bit of an issue as we're working towards that each year. But like I said, we learn about the history and culture of Black and Black Americans and Black people in general, and just try to make ourselves more aware. And then most of the times when we come back to the university, we do some type of presentation or just give information on our experience as we were away. All right, I think that might be it. I'm going to pass it to, is it Mackenzie now?
Yeah,
okay.
So. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, hi again, I'm Mackenzie, and we're also continuing on what's new with BATU in 2020. So we just got new shirts, which I'm wearing right now. And it says on the back that, well, I can turn around, but it says Black Students Matter on the back. And we're selling those as of now. We'll probably get them soon. And we've also been working with Edison Elementary.
McKenna.
Yeah. It's a part of school that is currently the fellowship program. Did I cut out?
Yeah, it cut out a little bit.
Cut out? Okay, sorry. I'll start over. So this partnership with Edison Elementary School, it's a partnership with the local elementary school that is currently developing. The goal is to create a mentorship program so that students have representation, and it's basically just someone to look up to during their academic careers. The next things that I'm pretty involved with as a historian is the BATU blog and the BATU hotline. The blog we're currently working on, it'll be out next semester, and it's basically where students can display their artwork, poems, podcasts, blog posts, anything that they would like to express towards the students on campus. This allows our students to display their creativity for the world, especially during times like COVID when we can connect through certain things like that since we can't see each other in person as much. Next, we are making a hotline where students can notify us basically about anything. They can ask us questions about BATU, just to talk to someone, or to talk about personal issues. And we're planning on having certain training to be ready for anything the students need to say to us. Next is the BATU Black History Timeline, which we've added a couple things. You can visit it online at our website. Some things that we've added recently is Dayton Flyers coach Anthony Grant. He won the College Coach of the Year award. It's basically his third season as head coach, and he also played here at Dayton, and he is the first UD coach to win this award as well. The next thing we added was Obi Toppin, who was named the 2020 Wooden Player of the Year award. He is definitely a NBA pick, and he'll probably most likely be going. The next thing that we added is the Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated Epsilon Beta chapter was chartered at UD.
Sorry.
You're fine. And then we'll most likely talk about this later, but the Secretary of BATU, Jada Brown, who is here today, led the university in the anti-racism demonstration. And we also added the Macintosh Scholar Establishment, which we've had for a very long time, but we just added it to the Black History timeline. And it's basically something for Black students to gain. A student who resides in Montgomery County can get this scholarship, and it's based off of it's basically commemorating the values and visions of W.S. Macintosh, a community leader and civil rights activist. The Macintosh Scholar, the Macintosh Award provides unique educational, professional, and leadership opportunities for the recipient.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mo. I guess we're going to start transitioning to you for more things that are new with BATU.
Yeah, so hi, again, my name is Monique. I just gonna really touch on what we've been doing in light of COVID. BATU is probably one of the main resources for students on campus, specifically first years is one of our biggest target audiences. So for this year, for us, it was very important that we were still able to get the same level of engagement that we would get if we were in person, or were able to have up the orgs in person and things like that. So each year we do have different BATU shirts, which you can see pictured all over the presentation. This year's, in order to kind of get engagement, to get first years aware of what BATU is and that we are here on campus for them, we did have like a little mini photo shoot on campus. And then we all used our social media platforms to promote BATU and to make sure that we could get as many first years on board with us as possible. In terms of outreach to students, keeping our organization active, which again is something very dear to our hearts, we do still host our bi-weekly meetings via Zoom. So that has been definitely an experience within itself, but I will say towards the end, we definitely did get it together, where we did reach our yearly kind of goal and membership.
Thanks.
Here I come.
So hi again, my name is Jada, I'm the secretary. So one thing that Mackenzie brought up earlier, talking about some of the stuff that we added to the Black History timeline, was the anti-racism demonstration that we had on campus in the beginning of October. Excuse me. So this was an event exactly sponsored by BATU, but it was something that myself and other executive board members were a part of planning and also attended. So the demonstration was two different parts. It was organized and led by myself, but the first part consisted of a march around campus. So we started at the MLK Memorial right by Albert Emanuel. And we basically walked through KU and walked around the student neighborhood. And then our endpoint was KU. And in KU, we had a social distanced mask gathering. And during that rally, students and some faculty were invited to speak about some of the recent events that have been happening, not only on campus, but also off campus with the Black Lives Matter movement happening. But it was for multicultural students all together. So President Spina spoke, I spoke, Gabe spoke, We had people share poetry, people from AAA, EOL. We had a lot of representation. So that was definitely something we wanted to highlight because it was something that was very groundbreaking and that all of us as individuals had some type of part in.
Before we move on, Jada, I wanted to ask the question that may be going through minds, but also to provide an educational opportunity for people that may be unfamiliar with the update of the university's current racial climate. I was wondering if I could ask you the question on why was doing this so important to you and why it didn't have as much of a positive impact as you think it did due to the time and the experiences that we have at UD.
You said why I think it had a positive impact?
Mm-hmm. Like why was it so important for us to do that now as well?
So it was very important. Well, first of all, even though, you know, it was open for students of different racial and ethnic backgrounds, it wasn't just for Black students. Part of the reason why I wanted to have something that was very important like that was because of all the Black Lives Matter movement things happening, especially with the case of Breonna Taylor. For none of the cops being found guilty, that was something that I know affected me very deeply and a lot of other people within the executive board and people who helped plan the rally as well. But also on campus, it was really important to address because a lot of people have this idea that racism doesn't exist on campus and racism isn't something that is affecting students of color, when in reality, racism unfortunately is an issue that persists on campus every single day. So for example, at the beginning of this school year, the N-word was written outside of KU. There was a house in the student neighborhood that put "I can't breathe, LOL" in chalk outside their house. What else? Oh, we had an SGA situation, which is a student government. Somebody who is supposed to be representing diverse students, so like Black students, brown students, said that systemic racism wasn't real. And so there was just something that needed to be said because a lot of people want to live in this kind of, I don't want to say ignorance, but, you know, don't really want to like face the fact that racism is very prevalent on University of Dayton's campus, because if we didn't have racism, we wouldn't need an anti-racist plan to make us less racist. And so I think that's something that was really demonstrated through the rally when people are talking, because, you know, they're not giving facts, they're not giving statistics, they're giving real life experiences of what they have faced on campus. And so I think that was very eye-opening for a lot of people who may not have to go through those type of experiences and don't have to navigate being a person of color at a predominantly white institution. So I think that's why that the demonstration as a whole was extremely, extremely important to really platform the voices of Black students and other students of color.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jada. You hit the nail right on the head. We're getting towards the end of our presentation, and this is where I will be basically discussing where we have, or I'll touch on our general body meeting briefly, and I'll talk on areas of need and where we can improve. But our general body meetings are basically meetings where we provide Black students and any BATU members interested, but we provide basically a space to not only discuss things that are going on socially, but also be able to discuss interpersonal situations that occur in the daily lives of Black students, so that people have a space of comfort where Black students might not feel comfortable talking outside of their space when it comes to being the only Black student in a classroom, or addressing a professor, calling them the same name as another Black student in the classroom, and just many microaggressions, and maybe hearing the term the ghetto being used to describe the student neighborhood that is very much so far from it. So in our general body meetings, we have had icebreakers. We've adjusted during COVID and utilized Zoom to have icebreakers, like throw it in the chat, or we have one person answer questions. It's almost like hot seat. We've used Kahoot, and we still use engaging asking questions. So a few of the things that we've talked about throughout the year is we use breakout rooms in our general body meetings to discuss social issues like what happened the past summer. We've utilized groups led by various members of our e-board to talk about Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, the protests and riots, the Black vote, the Jacob Blake, various situations that are affecting us, including COVID, which has been a challenge for many Black students during these times, and also using the opportunity to talk about Chadwick Boseman. Our general body meetings can be very positive and uplifting spaces, but they also provide a therapeutic space for a lot of Black students that might not have a lot of the resources for maintaining their mental health. So throughout COVID, what we've realized, even with our last meeting primarily, is that a lot of students are coming to this place and feeling a place of not only comfort, but a connection that they are kind of missing with COVID, social distancing, having to stay inside, online classes. Somehow we're still managing to get our purpose across. But you know, that's just a bit of how we're using general body meetings. However, I'm going to transition into areas of needs that we still have and where we can improve, because we still, this has been an adjustment for us as a group and as a student body. So areas of growth, challenges, and needs. I'm going to kickstart it off with, there's only 5 that I'll be addressing. First things first is improving and increasing Black academia and awareness. So we have been striving honestly since the beginning of Black students being on campus, but turning Black academia into standard. So not only incorporating Black history into classes like your History 103 that are required for students to take, so that there not only is a sense of awareness, but so that Black students are not only being included in these spaces, but our history is being included, because it's been foundational and monumental to the structure of the university and to the United States of America, which is something that white students often miss and helps perpetuate a level of ignorance and also a lack of care for the Black student experience, because we're only given history through a white lens. So we're still looking for how do we improve Black history and make that something that's not just that's not just an elective, that's not just a side thing, but something that's a part of our standard that we actually value to improve the Black student experience. And incorporated in Black academia, we have a lack of representation in faculty and staff when it comes to our classrooms. So looking to improve that is something that we're passionate about and something that we're striving towards and that we need help on. And that it's not necessarily our job, but that's something that it's not our job at all, actually. It's administration's job, but that's something that we're still passionate about, bringing those ideas to the university. So that's one, to keep things moving. Our ASALH conference, as Milan mentioned, ASALH is the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, where students really take pride in traveling and embedding themselves in a space where they can actually learn about Black history, because there are people that are presenting that have dedicated their lives towards Black history, Black philosophy, Black health, Black intellectuality, this space that really gives you so much history that we're not given in our textbooks and our standard educational system. And it's been very empowering for so many students, because it's not just a social opportunity to travel and be in community, it's also educational opportunity. So a lot of the students that participate in this conference come back so much better and grateful, and also with a level of self-love and pride that they may not have felt being at the University of Dayton, to where they may feel alone or may feel like their culture isn't expressed or represented appropriately in certain spaces, or better yet, their culture isn't valued. So ASALH does something for that, but we're trying to maintain this because we know how much of an impact that it has on students, but we struggle with funding, because sometimes we do have traveling. Sometimes, you know, we had one in Indiana, which was a bit easier, but this year or last year when we visited, we had one in South Carolina. The conference was in South Carolina, and this year the conference, if the COVID didn't happen, would have been in Alabama. So we would have been traveling, potentially flying. So it's like, how do we sustain this, you know? And that kind of helps us transition into the third, need for improvement in area of growth is strengthening BATU's Black alumni connection. That's something that we're very passionate about, and that is kind of missing. Mentorship for Black students that can connect with Black alumni outside of fraternities and sororities? Do Black students on campus know that there are alumni that are fighting for them daily, or know that there are Black alumni that exist? And of course they know that they exist, but do they know them specifically, like our mediator, Jared Davis, do more Black students know that he exists? He's a fantastic individual, a leader, and he's involved in education. I know we have a few teachers on campus. That could be a network. So improving that's a need for us right now. Going into number 4, under COVID-19, we have struggled with Black student engagement. Even though we've done a great job with engaging, better than kind of what we expected, we still struggle with getting Black students engaged and meeting students where there are a lot of first years that are academically struggling. And I know that that's been a high priority. There are a lot of students that actually aren't living on campus this year. So that's made it a bit of a struggle with engaging with them. And ultimately, just with being put into a new space as a Black student, you already experience a culture shock. But now you have a lot of Black students that are experiencing a completely different trajectory to an introduction of what college and higher education is. Even their classroom experience, which you're not usually highlighting your classroom experience when it comes to college, even though that's, you're here for education, but they're missing the physical interaction of being in a class and building an intimate relationship with their teacher, with their material or their coursework, and even the resources for help are kind of limited. So you could think of like little things like needing to print and how valuable that could be, and how many students have maybe needed that, but because of maybe the library being closed for a point in time during the semester, the challenges. So it's not only been difficult for us to engage, but students are going through a mental health crisis right now. There's a huge challenge that we can't fully take care of ourselves. We're trying our best, but it's something that's important that alumni should know. Academics is challenging. Students haven't had breaks pretty much all year, and the university has attempted to implement online breaks, but that's only been one day, and sometimes professors still assign work on those days. So I won't go into too much depth, but mental health is an area that definitely alumni should know we need help on, including with counseling and getting Black counselors at the university. And last but not least, combating racism and student discrimination. That's something that the fight is still going on. If alumni are wondering, it's still very prevalent, and there's a history of racism at UD. There's NAISMITH Custer is a student that did a project on it, but she's highlighted dates of Halloween to where blackface has been something that has been worn in the past and embraced by past UD students, to where lynching puppets during the 60s was something that was actually happening. But we're still facing that today, to where students may not be overtly doing it, but even behind closed doors with writing the N-word in front of KU, or writing on chalk, "I can't breathe, LOL," as if that's a funny statement, and that doesn't trigger if that doesn't trigger something emotionally or traumatically for a Black student or a student of color on campus. And there was a student that had Black Lives Matter on their sheet sign. Sheet signs are in the student neighborhood, that found somebody in front of their house trying to rip it down, and they confronted them. And that was a very emotional experience for her, where she had to get public safety involved. But there's things like that that are still happening, and we're still trying to not only eliminate that from happening, but we're still trying to take care of our students as well. So that's pretty much the bulk sum of things. So yeah, those are the areas of need, changes, and improvement. And that's pretty much all I have. If you're looking to donate to BATU, you can visit our website here. But that's pretty much all I have and all we have regarding the presentation. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a step back and pass it to you, Jared.
Fantastic job, young people. Simply amazing. I know I could go on and on with more words, but thank you all for this information. Thank you all for the passion and what you use to present it. And thank you just for the legacy and the impact that you are currently making on campus. I guarantee 5 to 10 years down the road, when you all are gone, your impact will still be felt. And I know the rest of the alumni that are still on probably will echo the same sentiments. And hopefully you've been able to see it in the chat box as well. We're absolutely proud. So we are at time, actually, which is definitely okay. If you are able to stay on until 12:45, we're going to try to do a real quick Q&A with the BATU e-board members that are still with us. So if you do have a question, we ask that you try to go ahead and put it in the chat as quickly as possible. I'll do my best to read the questions that were already presented, as well as the ones that show up in the chat. And if for whatever reason, if I miss your question, feel free to use, I believe there's like a raising hand signal that you can hit, and then we'll try to get you there. So I'll start by asking the first question, which was submitted by fellow alum Bernard Jones, class of 2012. He says, to the BATU e-board members, what are your interests in getting more involved in the Dayton community? And the part two to that, if you are able to connect with youth, in what way would you like to do so?
I guess I can take this. So that's kind of my position in connecting with the city of Dayton and how we can make those connections with the university. So one of the things that we are implementing into BATU is the Edison program, which Mackenzie was talking about earlier. So that was kind of spearheaded by me. And basically what we're doing is creating that mentorship program. Hopefully within the future, we hope to develop that into moving into high school so that we can do like a college promise kind of program in which we can help them fill out their FAFSA. They can go through their college decision process journey with a mentor. We can kind of help them on saying which college might be best for you. What major are you interested in? What kind of college atmosphere or journey or experience are you looking for? I know that was something big for me, and I wish I would have had. So we want to be able to give that opportunity to other students as well.
That's awesome. Anyone else from the e-board? No pressure. Just want to make sure I get everybody. Awesome. All right. Another question that was just submitted in the chat. Are there African-American mental health counselors available at UD? And I want to make sure how is the ease of access or barriers for students to access? So basically, do we have health counselors available, African-American health counselors available, and are they easy to access?
So there are only 2 African-American mental health counselors, Dr. Flora Iga and Linda Rogers, within the counseling center. There's no Black men counselors, which is something that we've really been advocating for because mental health is also extremely important for Black men as well. The ease of access, the counseling center is actually very notorious for being hard to get into. So it's hard for all students in general. So it's even harder for Black students. And then it's extremely harder for Black students who want a Black counselor. And then if you're a Black male who wants a Black male counselor, the option isn't even offered. So there are, unfortunately, a lot of barriers for students to access. There are some mental health resources within MEC, but I know something that our e-board has been pushing for is really advocating for more Black mental health. Like we literally had a meeting with Dr. Spina last night, and that's something that we talked about.
Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to start the hotline, since we don't have very many Black counselors here. So we would go through a counseling training and everything. And I just think that's really important. And my major is psychology, and I really want to work in mental health later in life. So it's another reason why I thought about hotline.
Absolutely, which is a fantastic idea. And I hope as you all continue to reach out to alum, I would hope that there are some African-American male alum who possibly might be in the psychology field that could also possibly help with that hotline. If money was no object, what would be an activity or an event that BATU would want to do before the school year was over?
That's an
Like any
amazing.
event?
Is COVID like still existing in this in this scenario, or?
Let's use, I guess, a dream scenario. If COVID was not an issue and money was of no object, what would be an event that BATU will want to put together?
Honestly, okay, I'm in between like 2. I would either want to have, and they're honestly things we already do that I love doing. Black Excellence Ball, or ASALH, and then we can take as many people as we want. I actually would probably pick ASALH, and we can take as many people as we want. Because usually with ASALH, we struggle every year to kind of get the finances to take whoever we have. So if we had like the financial resources to be able to literally just take anybody who wanted to go, I think that would probably be like my favorite thing in the entire world.
I would say, so every year the University of Dayton hosts an artist on campus for like a spring festival. Since I've been at UD, there's never been an artist who has a like versatile enough music for all students to kind of enjoy or come to that event. So I would make it so that the University of Dayton can afford or pay for like an artist like, I don't know, I'll have to think because they have to follow like all the guidelines as well. But an artist for our students to also be able to go and enjoy, because they often like have artists really more pertaining to the white community, and our students always complain that they don't know any of that music, or it's just not exciting for them because they can't.
Thank you to whoever asked this question. I never really thought about it, but I've always thought about like what would my dream BATU be. So I don't know how many Daytonians we have in this this Zoom, but a couple of years ago, Dayton used to host what was called Urban Nights. Or maybe some people are shaking their head. Yeah. So basically, I would host the Urban Nights on campus hosted by BATU. It would kind of be like a little block party. We could have a whole bunch of Black-owned vendors. There's a lot of students on campus who are entrepreneurs and business owners, and I would love to highlight them so they could have their own station. There would be performances. Big on spoken word. Of course, Gabe, you would have to be like the headliner. But yeah, I would just host a big, like a BATU Black celebration in which we get to highlight our students and all the work that they do.
Wonderful. Go ahead, sir.
If I had a chance, I'd turn BATU Week into a Black Excellence Week, and I would move the Black Excellence Ball to the start of the week. Throughout the week, I would invite various prominent people like Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther, Colin Kaepernick to speak, Ava DuVernay, the director of Central Park 5 docuseries, would have like educational activities, would have performers come throughout the week. So like D-Smoke, would have barbers on campus, like just a whole Black spa day. And then at the end of the week, we will all go to a place in Africa for another week. I don't know, but we said being realistic, but we will go there and we would do some stuff, that's, yeah.
That was big.
I love the monumentous creativity of your minds. That's amazing. I love it. We do have another quick question, and I think we'll have time for maybe one or two more. I heard you all mention the Black Excellence Ball a few times throughout your presentation. And so what are the plans for the Black Excellence Ball this year?
So I guess I could touch that. We don't think that we'll be able to have it. That's pretty much the biggest challenge right now. eBoard, feel free to cut me off. All right, but we've talked about, right now we're just trying to figure out something that still highlights that. So can we, if we look at the BET Awards, they've still been able to do their award shows and still highlight people. So can we get performers? Can we get even a TV platform and still provide a space for people to just want to dress up and feel good? But that's also one of our biggest fundraising events. So basically where we're at right now is we're in a brainstorming stage. We're in a brainstorming stage of how we can make this, how we can make something happen that still brings the creativity and the uniqueness of the purpose of the event, which was Black students being able to dress to impress, see each other in excellence, and also be awarded for their presence on campus, showing that there's a space for their value. So if anybody has any ideas that we could look into, please throw it in the chat. We're open. I know I've thought about, I don't know if anybody's known like how prom works with like parking lot drive-ins and everybody's dressed up and, you know, people don't have to, you can still try and social distance something. We've talked about various ideas as an e-board, but if alumni had any suggestions, recommendations, or ways that, or even connections in media, that would be very helpful for us. But we're trying to creatively come up with something now, because COVID has made it a bit difficult. And we know that's something that a lot of first looking forward to when they come to UD. They're like, wow, this is an experience that happens. Boom. So
I think we've talked about like doing a virtual award show so we can still recognize people within BATU, but I mean, we couldn't even have something outside because we do it during Black History Month and it'd be freezing. So unfortunately, yes, we are still in the brainstorming process to kind of see if we can get anything to fulfill like that gap, but yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for the insight. And I believe I see Daniel Covey. Forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong. He says he's at Hot 1029. So that may be
That's
a
right.
gentleman you all. Is that correct, Daniel?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, Dan. If there's a way you can put your information in the chat, so the e-board can get in contact with you to maybe, you know, make that possible for them, that would be great. Yeah,
the possibility, if you do an outside event, maybe we could have one of our people show up and help provide some music and kind of help maybe MC the event. It's a possibility depending on the date and where we're at with all the COVID, of course. So. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Obviously, we want everybody to be safe. We're getting to the 12:45 mark, and I'm a stickler on time because time is a commodity you cannot get back. So if we could, within probably the next 60 seconds, what is one thing you all hope to leave on UD's campus before you graduate in terms of BATU, like legacy, imprint, anything, everything? 60 seconds, go.
For me, it's being a Black woman and making it through the 4 years. This is my senior year. So just graduating within itself for me is leaving a legacy for the rest of my peers to come to know that they can do it, and that they can be a part of like so many great leadership opportunities. So just leaving my mark in every single
Anybody else?
Can somebody go? I want to write mine down first so I don't go too
For me, so I'm a tour guide for admissions. And my biggest thing that I want to leave before I graduate, I want to do a tour in which I can truly say, like, students of color, you will feel completely accepted here. You will be completely comfortable. You should not have to worry about if there are going to be any derogatory or racist remarks that are going to be made to you. And you do have a home on campus. So before I leave, I want to give a tour that says that.
For me, kind of going off of that, I've always wanted to redo our admissions video because our admissions video doesn't have very many Black people in the video unless they play a sport. So I would like that just because that's a really big part when you go on a tour. I know that's the first thing I notice in their videos, like what they have in there, like who are the people, would I feel like I belong here? I also would like, continuing off of like mental health, I think it'd be important if that we stayed with having a hotline and more counselors, because this is really important to have somebody that you can talk to who looks like you and relates to certain experiences that you have.
For me, I think like my legacy is like being the first so people can come after you and just be successful. Like a lot of times, a lot of our positions, we have to be like the first Black person to do it or like the only Black person to do it. Like, I mean, in SGA right now, I'm the only Black person in SGA. And SGA is probably one of the oldest organizations on campus. And so I don't want students to like join these spaces that aren't specifically meant for multicultural students and have to break these barriers. I want the barriers to already be broken so they can just go and do what they want. and thrive in it. And I think doing that is going to allow students to be able to build their own legacy. And I think that's what I want my legacy to be.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you all so much for your time today, your willingness just to tune in to these amazing voices of these future leaders, these current leaders. And I don't even know what else to say. I'm filled to the brim with everything that I heard today. Brother Gabe, I know you were writing yours down, sir. You may have to put it in the comment section.
I made it 2 points.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, sir.
So I was just saying, for me, I've always been big on creating space for ourselves and Black people to realize that there's so much potential in the room. So I think leaving a legacy of realizing what Black love actually is, and that what Black creativity actually is, and that we don't need to really go to too many spaces. We have power to create in ourselves. If I had the time, a Black cultural center on campus would be something I'd be so proud of, but it's been hard to maintain that passion. But also changing the narrative for Black men on campus is a legacy I want to leave, because the Black men are the least represented in higher education, but also are receiving so much verbal abuse in so many different spaces that don't contribute to their upliftment. So changing the narrative amongst that is something that I want to leave.
Well said, sir. Really quickly before I close my mouth. Okay, Mackenzie, you already put it in the chat. Thank you so much for taking care of that. If you have any other questions, fundraising ideas, we ask that you reach out to BATU through batu@udayton.edu. Send them all the information that you have, how you want to connect, and all those wonderful things. And I'm going to pass it back to Stacy. Thank you all so much for allowing me to be the moderator this afternoon. I have enjoyed my time.